opportunities with our parents, so hopefully they'll do that for me.
Gail, 102.5 FM. Good morning to you on your media. And shout out to everyone who is headed back to school. I'm sure most of you all, all of you all are in class right now. This is Community Conversations for August 15th, 2016. Gail 1 is in the studio with you. Also have my co-host, Kabila Harden, who has held it down the past couple of days while I was away, and I certainly appreciate her for holding down. And our special guest in the studio today is Mrs. Gail Rasberry. She is with Arkansas for Compassionate Care, and this is a lady who I've gotten to know very well over the past few months. She calls in to quite a few shows that we do, but she's here to talk about a cause that is very near and dear to her heart, which is medical cannabis. And there is an amendment that is proposed for the Arkansas Constitution that will be on the ballot this November that will seek to legalize cannabis for medicinal purposes. So Mrs. Rasberry is going to talk about Arkansas for Compassionate Care and their efforts in this matter. So how are you doing today, Mrs. Rasberry?
I'm doing great, and I want to thank you so much for having me on today. Anytime we can reach out to the voting public, it's always a good thing. And I really appreciate your station and its dedication to bringing political issues and political candidates out for people to direct question and give them access to those candidates to put forth questions to get in there. It's very important that we be involved in the election process.
And that's certainly what we do. And of course, as always, KLK Voice for Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council. We do not endorse nor support any candidate nor issue. However, we do provide a platform for all sides to tell the story. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing is let's kind of get some things clarified. There are actually two amendments to the proposed Constitution.
Let me clear up some misunderstandings right off the bat. First of all, our campaign is the campaign that was on the ballot in 2012. We narrowly missed passing that by less than 2%. So it's pretty evident that people understand the beneficial use of cannabis. We tried again in 2014 to make it, and we were successful in that. But it did provide us some time to build a team that was able to put forth just a magnificent, a nationally recognized volunteer-based campaign where we were able to prepare signatures for our petitions and turn in early prior to the deadline, and we had enough signatures on the first turn in to be on the ballot. I believe that shows overwhelming support. The number of volunteers that we had for our campaign and the number of signatures that we were able to obtain in that length of time really shows that the evidence is out there and people support this. The problem, people get confused. There's so much misinformation, even in the mainstream media, that our petition, our initiative is the only one that has been validated for the November ballot. There was a full legal team out there that didn't turn their signatures in because they didn't have enough. And as of February, a newly approved initiative by an attorney out of Little Rock has been collecting signatures. They've really muddied the waters because people are confused. Our petition is already turned in, we're already validated for the ballot. We're just waiting on that issue. The other campaign has still been out collecting signatures. They turned in enough at the initial deadline to get the 30-day extension, and that provided them extra time. And there is a good possibility that we'll be on the ballot, but it is not certified by the Secretary of State as of yet. They haven't reached that 30-day extension period. So once they meet that deadline and turn them in, then we'll know whether or not they're going to be on the ballot with us.
Okay, but still, for the listeners out there, explain the language of what you all are proposing so that when voters go to the polls and make their decision, either way, they'll know for sure what they're voting on.
It's very important that they know. Our initiative is would be run by the health department. It would start off with approximately 38 care centers statewide. Those would be not-for-profits. The tax proceeds would roll back to pay for the program, so it doesn't require any funding of any kind. It would totally support itself. Also, the tax proceeds, in addition to operating the program, will provide a sliding fee scale for low-income patients to receive that medicine based on their income, because it will be covered by any kind of insurance. And you have a child with epilepsy or a cancer patient that is using the oil extract of the plant, that requires a lot of raw material, and so it's going to be cost prohibitive for a lot of people. They won't be able to afford it if they can't have some kind of fee scale based on income. And that's what our tax money will fund, is paying for the program and that's not a fee scale. Additionally, there's widespread support for it, and so we just want to make sure that everybody understands that this program won't have to be funded by anybody, and it'll help those low-income patients. If you have a child with epilepsy that requires that pill every day, and if you can't afford to give it to them, what good is that program? So we want to make sure people are paying attention to differences between the two campaigns if the other one shouldn't make that, because it will not protect as many patients as ours will.
Do you have a copy of the text of the proposed amendment?
Our opponents?
No, of yours. Do you have the actual text of what the amendment will say on the ballot?
Our initiative has been available for public view on our website at www.arcompassion.org.
Well, I'll put it up on that will be as the next session.
As you were talking, I was thinking there are some people that profit off of it. So
Yeah.
How do you know that
Go back to your diet and why not be able to use that? Why? 40 microns to who cares? I really believe there's strong support. 26, people go federal use is in place in 26 states of this country. 26 other states have a medical cannabis program of some kind. Why should Arkansas be at the bottom of another list?
To make your decision, you will have cultivation and distribution of cannabis through cannabis that you are both.
They not read it, or he doesn't mind. Qualifications for the home cultivation aspect of the program were very strict. They'll be under unannounced inspection by the Department of Health, just like the care centers will be. They'll have to be in a locked facility, and they're only going to qualify for under certain restrictive circumstances. And so I don't think people. A lot of people that fear this particular initiative because of that home cultivation are really just afraid for a reason, because they will be strictly regulated and there really aren't going to be that many patients that qualify for that cultivation.
you're always going to have your naysayers going, well, you may regulate the initial patient, have the pop-in visits and things of that nature, but if someone is connected to someone with a criminal mind, they're going to try to find a way to get around the system and possibly share their product or profit off their product. So
here's the problem, though. That's already going on rampantly with pharmaceutical drugs.
okay.
You have people every day that go to the doctor and find illness and with prescriptions and taken straight to the surgeon saying, when you have the injection rate, you have pain, you go to the doctor, you get a prescription for a pain med, and next thing you know, it doesn't really work as well. You have to take it more. This doctor doesn't give it to you anymore. And now they've passed regulations where you have to go back to the doctor every month before you can get that prescription. And then it gets to a point where you're addicted. Well, what are you going to do now? The doctor cuts you off. And that's how we do with the heroin epidemic in this country. It ties directly back to pharmaceutical pain medication addiction. And Cannabis has been proven to be non-addictive.
Okay.
It is non-toxic. The amount of cannabis a person would have to consume to jeopardize their life is unreachable, practically. And so you have to have an alternative for people who are suffering from chronic pain. So many people out there work so hard and so many hours, and they put their bodies through misery and end up a few years later, 10 or 15 years later, with a back injury, their shoulders messed up, they can't have surgery, or whatever the reason they end up on pain medications. That's not even talking about the number of cancer patients that could be helped with their chemo and radiation, the number of epileptic patients that could be helped, the number of multiple sclerosis and debilitating illnesses. There's no excuse for us not to provide for them. One of the differences, though, between us and the potential competitor this fall is going to be that, number one, he doesn't cover anywhere near as many conditions as we do. Another thing would be is that he wants to win a commission and get regulated by the alcohol board. No, we don't agree with that position in any way. We believe it should be against the department only. Another difference that ours is an act, which means it can be more easily updated and adjusted as needed for the patients that are being helped. The opponent campaign is a constitutional amendment that would be very difficult to amend. Practically take an act of Congress to update.
And I've got a question I want to ask about the other side.
We want to make sure people understand the differences between these two laws before they step into the ballot this November.
All right, we're speaking with Mrs. Gail Rasberry of Arkansas for Compassionate Care. She is talking about putting legal cannabis on the ballot for this November. Phone line is 870-277-1080. Again, that phone number is 870-277-1080. We'll also take your comments on our Facebook live stream. So if you have any questions or comments, please leave them for Mrs. Rasberry. We'll be back after the break. This is Kate, LEK, on 2.5 FM.
I do have a few questions. Of course, those that people,
We're still rolling.
people are going to ask, how, and we can talk about this when we come back and we ask this question, but how are you going to regulate the doctor? How are you going to, okay, you have this list of conditions. There are some doctors, they don't mind being a little relaxed with, okay, well, yeah, I'll approve this. How are you really going? And this, the
Well, part of I can answer part of that. Doctors now have this law where they have. There's this law now, like where you have to report. I don't know if it's for the patients or the doctors, but basically the way the law set up is you can't go from doctor to doctor getting the same prescription because like some of the prescription drugs in Mrs. Rasberry. People would go to 2 or 3 different doctors to try to get the same things. I remember when I went to my doctor, there was some kind of sign. I don't remember the wording of it, but I remember the purpose of it was to prevent that. So I think that, in part,
there's always a way to regulate something. They'll find a way to regulate it.
There's some doctors who, even we have some doctors, if you tell I need this pill, this prescription, this virtue, care. It's like how are you going to regulate those doctors? You really know just changing the prescriptions with them.
The thing about it is, that what they'll do is they'll have the doctors that are willing to prescriptions for cannabis therapies. We'll go through a program with the health department where they'll sign up and go through the certification of, this is how our program is going to work, this is what you have to do, and these are what you have to do in your office, the documents you have to submit on your patients or whatever. And, they'll treat it just like they do any other medical treatment, hopefully.
So they're going to provide now with the patients. I'm actually probably say these questions when we come back, but
They'll sign the doctors up and they'll say, okay, this is how we're going to do this. And once the doctors all know how to proceed, then they're seeing patients.
The patient will see the doctor, they'll get their referral from the doctor, they'll take that back to the health department, they'll get their ID card from the health department, identifying them as a patient. If they are debilitated in some way, like the lady I know from Lear that has a son who is epileptic, several, I don't know how many different medical issues he has, he's completely dependent, he's an adult child, I mean, you know, he can't
Do you like the music you hear?
function alone. His mother
We got
has
about 30
to
seconds.
take care of him.
Do you like the service we provide to the community?
Well,
Do you like that destination? I only call your
To have some relief.
It's you. 15 seconds. Please stop by or call any of our underwriters or sponsors that you hear on KLEK and tell
You
them
got to pay me some Michael Jackson off the wall when we get done.
Well, this whole hour is talk, but I'll make sure we get you when we go back to the show. Yes. And we're back on community conversations. It is to be along with Gail Hardin and this Gail Rasberry of Arkansas for Compassion. She is in the studio with us this morning. We are discussing bringing legal cannabis to Arkansas. Her and her group have certified a potential act on the ballot for November, and that kind of
It's not potential, it's gonna be there, we just don't have our issue number yet, we're waiting on our issue number, so we wanna make sure everybody's paying attention over the course of the next 2 or 3 weeks, because all the other campaigns there, they gave us, okay, I wanted to be sure all of your listeners know that there was a mistake out of the Secretary of State's office where they purged a lot of registered voters. Some of them that should have been purged, but some of them shouldn't.
I saw that story.
You might have seen on the news where there were some voters purged. So please go to VoteView. You can just do it for me. And you can look yourself up, put in your name up and see if you got hurt by accident. And if you did, be sure you go to the courthouse and get that fixed right away.
Okay.
Then in the next 2 or 3 weeks when all the other came, and then another thing the Secretary of State did was they gave us an issue number. Back when they said, okay, you've got enough to make ballot, you're going to be issued, and I'm not going to say the number because I don't want to confuse anybody.
Okay.
But then we were just about to start really throwing our DR out there, and we actually did let a little bit of stuff slip out. Media, what I mean.
Yeah.
And people picked up on it right away, and then they said, oh wait, no, we weren't supposed to do that. And so we have to wait until everybody else gets finished. So there's actually a possibility that our competitor can get the number that they accidentally almost gave us. So y'all pay really close attention.
Okay.
The issue numbers start coming out. We are Arkansans for Compassionate Care. We are the Arkansas Medical Cannabis Act.
All right, say that one more time so the listeners will know.
Arkansans for Compassionate Care. The Arkansas Medical Cannabis Act.
All right, and that goes back to the question I was going to ask earlier. That what you all have is an act, and if the competitors get on there, there's to be a constitutional amendment. Well,
Correct.
Are you-
It's the marijuana amendment.
are you concerned
That's
that?
how you know the difference.
Are you concerned that with it being the act that a future legislature could just repeal it from doing all of the work that you've done?
Absolutely. And you have to look, start talking politics in Arkansas. This is getting down to a political game now. You've got Jerry Cox, the family councilman, all of his prohibitionist, deny the truth, people that are totally against both of them. And then you've got a lawyer out of Little Rock who slips in back in February after it's apparent that we're gonna make ballot again. And they know from 2012 that there's a good possibility we're gonna pass. So he gets approved for his marijuana amendment. He paid. Now see, our campaign was totally, volunteers. These are people who know what this law says, we're supporting of it, and we got out there on our own free time and our own free will and our pocketbooks and put in the time to collect these petition signatures. And then this lawyer comes in February and gets approved by legislature. Now, how many people have gotten approved by legislators for a marijuana thing? Okay, let's go through. He gets approved in February. Now he's hiring out-of-state paid people to come in here and collect his petition signatures on the sly. And they're actually, we've done all this work for the last 18 months of educating the public and being out there in the public eye and promoting our campaign. And now he's coming in the back door And his paid people say, medical marijuana, and people sign, because if we missed them, they don't even understand that we already turned our signatures in June the 20th. We're already on the ballot. This guy is trying to come in and dirty up the water and confuse people and split the vote. And that's what we need to make people understand, that they're trying to split the vote and fix it to where it works. Nationwide statistics show that if there are two initiatives on the ballot, they'll both vote.
Okay.
People think, people that support it will vote yes on both. The problem with that is if they both pass, there's no precedent. There's nobody saying, okay, this is what's happened. They're going to get to decide what happens. And we're going to go to the court fighting for our initiative for another however long it takes. And so an educated voter is going to win this campaign for us. And we're the one that's going to have the most patience, and we're the one that's going to do it in the most effective and thorough way.
Okay.
All right, let's bring it back to the merits of you all's act, and let's get into the history of it. What got you so passionate about this issue? What led you to yourself, as well as the people with Cancer for Compassionate Care, to take up this cause? Let's kind of get into the history of it.
Well, short of pleading the fifth, I've known for 25 or 30 years that the propaganda of prohibition has been untrue. That's been the cause of destruction of a lot of lives in this country over the years. Anybody that's seen those paper clips from the 1940s where it said that the marijuana leaf could help epilepsy. Anybody that saw the people with their cans of joints, rolled joints, because back in the 70s they had a study going with these medical patients, and when it didn't show that it harmed them, they stopped the study and tried to bury the results. And these patients went back and sued in court and won. The federal government's been growing cannabis, and our campaign refused to use the slang term for this plant that it's cannabis. The University of Mississippi's been growing cannabis, and supplying these patients with cannabis through their court orders for 25 years.
Well,
It's wrong. It's wrong to put people in jail over a plant simply because it has a component where if you set it on fire and inhale it, it might make you feel a little like you had a couple of pills.
okay. So
that's insane.
But
When they got liquor advertisements on TV, and the liquor industry funds a lot of the campaign against us.
okay.
Because they know that when people have an alternative
Well,
that
Ms. Rice,
is safe and effective, they're gonna drink it.
a question for Mrs. Rasberry.
Well, yes, I wanted to kind of get back to some of the questions that everyday people are going to ask. We were talking off air. Okay, you talked a little bit about the regulations and regulating doctors and regulating the growers, and some people just want to know, how are you really going to regulate them? Once the patients maybe get approved, they get a referral, and they go to the health department to get their ID card. Will they have to go through a series of tests or testing to see if they have this condition the doctor says they have?
No. The doctors are all licensed physicians. And once what happens is once the law passes, the health department and our legislature will have to decide how are we going to do this. They won't have a choice as to when they do it. They only have a choice in how they make it happen. So what will happen is the physicians will all sign up to be referring physicians for that program. Patients will have to see a doctor that is signed up on the program to be a referring physician. Hopefully, some of our currently established physicians, we do have several physicians around the state who have expressed willingness to participate in this program. So, I know a lot of people think my doctor's never going to do this. And I know for a fact that's true. My own mother, who suffers from Alzheimer's disease, her physician is very well known in Northeast Arkansas. And in front of Earl Bell on the primary day, he spun around on his heel and told me I should be ashamed of myself.
Oh, wow.
For petitioning for medical cannabis, he told me I should. This same physician has pharmaceutical companies carrying lunch to his office multiple times a week, of which I'm aware because my relative of mine used to work in that office. So, but there are doctors in Arkansas that are signed for this program, and there will be accessibility. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Rivera.
I have another question. You know, there's a lot of stigma about, consuming cannabis and getting, like you said, that high, heavy feeling. How do you dispel some of those myths? What do you say to people that it's addictive? I think they're going to just walk on being in a zombie state, or
Well, you look at society as a whole that sanctions Valium, Xanax, antidepressants. Oh my goodness, the number of people in the country that are on antidepressants. THC is a very small component of the cannabis plant. There are hundreds of cannabinoids in this plant that are medically beneficial. Once they started being medically used in other states, other countries, guess what? Israel is one of the leading countries in this world doing cannabinoid research. They use it in the hospitals where patients go down the hall where the cannabis is heated and the vapor goes into a balloon and they inhale it in the hospital because it's the fastest and most effective way to get it in and it starts working immediately. And so, but when you have alcohol and pharmaceuticals that are out there to make people feel better, to make them happy, to give them a sense of euphoria, why is this one thing not okay? Why are all these others okay and this one thing is not okay? And I really think that as the medical use expands and they nationally, Sanjay Gupta is the leading medical correspondent for CNN News. He has done a complete about-face on medical cannabis. He was originally against the use of it because the only research he had seen was out of government who wanted to prove harmfulness.
Speaking with Mrs. Gail Rasberry of Arkansas for Compassionate Care. Phone lines open at 877-1080. Once again, that phone number is 870-277-1080. We're also taking questions and comments on our live stream, and we have a Facebook shout out to Mr. Stan Morris. He says, "Thank you for live streaming this. This is a wonderful service to the community."
I do want to ask another question. I know we're not even hitting some of the talking points on the paper, but on your website it listed several benefits. So tell the listeners and viewers, okay, this is why I agree with this. Tell them some of the benefits of using the medical cannabis.
Well, 56 medical conditions covered on our initiative.
Listen on the website.
Yes.
And give them that website again if anybody wants to get more information.
That is www.arpassion.com.
That's
ARCOMPASSION.
arcompassion.com is the website.
And what link I was looking for a list of?
Well, it would be under read. The it would be
Is your questions and similar?
roads for
Right. So I want you, if you could please, briefly faithful support. And then like on most of your, I don't know if this is, most of the other pages have cannabis, but this particular one refers to it as marijuana. And I know you don't want to really use that street term, marijuana versus cannabis. So is that an oversight on whoever did the
No, they do use it. We're trying to differentiate between our campaign. Okay. As far as the faith-based community, we do have a committee established that is specifically, because I'm not here to, gave me in case a caller, it turns a few people off.
Yeah. Now, would you advise to approve?
Compassion care, so
And I know this is
It, as a vegetable, mention stuff everybody's with. We all know that religious ceremonies frequently involve the burning of sacrament. So I would encourage anyone that considers themselves to be faithful, do some research, and try not to just listen to the conservative media propaganda machine.
If you go to the Arkansas Compassionate, or Kansas Compassionate Care website, you can read a little bit more about what different churches around the nation have had to say. They are listed by church type, and then different statements under each
Right, we have extensive support. I'm sure a lot of people might be surprised to do that link and look at that list and say that church organization has made some kind of public statement of support, whereas their local church pushed that forward to them.
all right, Mrs. Rasberry, we have 2.5 minutes left before showing this, so just want to close it out with you once again explaining what the issue is on the board and just wrapping up with anything that we didn't cover for the listeners and the viewers.
Well, I'm going to bunch my notes just to make sure that I cover each specific point, and that is
All right, we got about 2 minutes to do it.
the Arkansas Medical Cannabis Act is on the ballot November 8th. As soon as we get our issue number, we'll let you know which you're looking for when you step in the ballot booth. Cannabis is a safe and effective medicine. It's designed with patients in mind. It'll be overseen by the Arkansas Department of Health and paid for by its own tax revenue that will also fund affordability costs for low-income patients. Please support us. AR Compassion.
Oh, well, I was just, you've been long-winded the whole time. You need 2 more minutes. Well, I'll just say once again, we want to thank Mrs. Rasberry for stopping through the studio. Gail, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council. We do not endorse nor support this issue either way. We're not going to tell you to vote for it. We're not going to tell you to vote against it. What we are going to tell you to do is to educate yourself. Go to that website, arcompassion.com. Read the amendment. Read the act. Read the act. Read all of the information on there. If you have a question, call Mrs. Rasberry. She's happy to answer your questions. And then you take this information with you into that voting booth and you use it to make the decision that you feel best reflects your values, whether it's for or against. But please educate yourself when you make your decision, not just on this issue, but on any of the issues that are coming up on the November ballot. We're going to have Craighead County Election Clerk Holiday here on the 19th. We're going to go down the list of all of the initiatives and all of the candidates running for. We have interviews coming up all the way up until the election day so that you can stay informed. But look like you want.
I just wanted to thank you again for your dedication and for getting these voting issues out so that people can educate themselves, because a lot of times voters are faced with trying to read through these initiatives.
I know it was something just reading on the air.
Yeah. Thanks for that.
But you're welcome. That's what we are here for. This is a community conversation. And listen to KLEK on 2.5 FM.
Okay.